Welcome to the episode 0 of the PCTA FYRE Podcast. I am Brennan Pickett. I am a AP Language and Composition teacher, and I also teach English 2 at St. Petersburg High School. I am also the FEA director, as well as co-chair for the FYRE committee for PCTA. And with me, I have...
I'm Philip Belcastro. I also teach English, 11th grade, and I am also the FYRE chair, whatever you said. There's 3 of us, and I'm one of them.
Co-chair.
I'm a FYRE co-chair. Yeah, I think that was all the important stuff, wasn't it?
Also, we have...
I am Kelsey Donegan. I teach 9th and 10th grade English, and I am not currently on FYRE.
Soon to be on FYRE.
Liar, liar.
And then lastly, we have us.
I am Dr. Anna Margiotta. I am a first-year teacher, a recent PhD graduate, and I teach AP Chemistry and Pre-AP Chemistry at St. P. High School.
And Dr. Adams made a really good point as well. I am a 6-year teacher. I believe Belcastro is a 3.
This is my 3rd, yeah.
3rd year. And then Kelsey Donegan.
Also my first year, yeah.
All right. So we have a couple different perspectives here as well. So we started this podcast the idea of trying to speak directly to our, as I say, our brothers and sisters in the union, right? And one of the things I wanted to start talking about as our first episode is the school board. And today is January 25th, I believe. And last night we had a school board meeting at 5 o'clock at the Pinellas County Schools district building. And the topic was kind of going off about book banning all the way to scrutinizing classrooms to make sure teachers are having appropriate material in their classrooms, no controversial materials. And it was also kind of the repercussions of a culture war we've been seeing all across America. So I kind of want to go around the table and ask everyone, what was your impression of the school board meeting last night? So
when I first got there, my fight or flight instinct was immediately triggered as I entered the parking lot and saw 2 people holding a "Thank You DeSantis" flag and another person holding a sign that had lots of things on it, but essentially said, "Stop grooming our kids." And I'm a non-binary teacher in Florida, so that was not fun to see. And then overall impressions, it was very stressful to be there, anxiety-inducing, but also boring and infuriating all at the same time.
I always find it quite eye-opening too, just how much some people just despise teachers. The grooming stuff. You see that, and you're like, wait, I heard about this, but wow.
That was kind of my whole thing when I spoke. I was like, wait a minute, what? So
I texted one of my friends about the grooming sign, and she said, our local barbers don't deserve that.
I actually texted my sister because I arrived late, so I didn't see the signs, which, by the way, I'm amazed at the speed at which people produce flags. Can we just get flags of just whatever we want? Who sells those? We should just make a FYRE flag or something.
And get set on fire.
I just want a Bill Castro flag, maybe. I don't know.
Bill Castro flag.
But I texted my sister about the signs and everything, and it's like, yeah, they're stop groomers, whatever. And she's like, what? Grooming what? Grooming them to do? What does that mean? I was like, I don't know, man. It's just Florida stuff.
I really want them to explain themselves. I really want them to say logistically, what do you think is happening?
Right. And she was asking about the books too. I said, we could get a 3rd-degree felony. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I said we could get a 3rd-degree felony for teaching anything that offends a student, even if it's not on purpose. She's like, well, what does that look like? And I'm like, nobody knows. That's the problem.
And going off what Donegan has said, you're like, I want to pick these people's brains. Go no further than just listening to them talk for 3 minutes at a time. Donegan, what was your impression, by the way?
Of the meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of boring bureaucracy punctuated by insanity. Moments of, fight or flight, I think was the right term. Also punctuated by very strange moments of... the celebration's nice. I thought the video of the robotics club was cute, and that was interesting to see what other schools are doing. Yeah. Them bringing in a choir was interesting, but the Countryside High kids, again, Nothing against the kids. Great job. I was admittedly confused, though. They just kind of gave us like a 10-minute history of Countryside High School.
I'm glad I missed that. I was sitting in traffic somewhere in Largo when it was going on. So.
And good for them. They went and did a presentation, but it just seemed odd. Well, something that needs to be, I don't know.
No, it's kind of like a dog and pony show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, hey, look how great our district is, folks. Don't be mad at us. And it's like, look at these kids. We made them talk.
Were the kids there?
Yeah,
Were they there?
Yeah.
Well,
Totally.
I don't mind.
Which is cool.
That's cool. Bring the kids. There was that civics club was there too.
That was irrelevant, though. We're going to get to that.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't here for all that.
Yeah.
I'm dumb guy. I don't.
And then, I mean, this is our third school board meeting now.
Yeah, I think so. It's mine. I mean, was the first time that we went together? Was that the first time you'd ever been?
That was my first as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I never went.
Okay.
That was the Lee Bryant job.
Did you all watch the school board members at all while during the proceedings?
Oh yeah, I stare them down with daggers.
Yeah.
I couldn't look away from my phone. I was too nervous.
Yeah.
I was staring at my phone the whole time so I can read it.
Yeah, right.
I was very proud of myself because I didn't say once. I didn't stammer once. I actually got it all out and I was like, yes.
Yeah, you were very passionate.
Lee
Thank you.
Lee did yell at us for slouching because we slouched too much.
But I'm trying to tell him I am a tall person
tall.
and this mic is so low. I'm trying to move it up. And even then, I just think if we do it again, I just need to stand up straight and just project.
Right. I'm going to have some sort of element to I could lean on like a wizard. There's a staff when I go up.
I would get a really tall chair for me so I can sit. Get a really tall rolly chair. You need to let me go through a security
I
with
think
that.
we should present together so it looks like Leonidas and Xerxes, where you're just 11 feet tall and I'm just a little guy.
I think if you just forego the microphone and bring in your speaker system that you attach to your hip when you do Safari Man, then when they shut the mic off after 3 minutes, you can just keep going.
Yeah.
Can't stop.
Get a CBS karaoke Bluetooth machine. Just bring it with you.
Well, one of our audience members is already getting experience talking after the mic goes off, and we're going to talk about him later. So school board meetings, me, Phil, they're boring.
Yeah, they are.
They are excruciating.
Yeah.
You wait 3 hours to get your 3 minutes in, and by then, the people who you want to talk to have already walked out of the building.
Yeah. Well, there's not. Well, the people you want to talk to
Or the
are school board members. The people you want to talk at,
Yes.
say what they want to say, and then dip immediately.
And those are the enemies.
Well, they're just people who are bored and don't have anything else to do. We're trying to defend our jobs.
Yeah.
Other people are just.
I feel like it's disrespectful.
It is.
They don't have respect for everyone else there. They just
Right.
want to be there to say their hateful bullshit and then leave.
Yeah, which is kind of what I want to get into next, which is, and this is the topic of the video, I think, which is why must we, the PCTA, rally the community to speak at the school board? Now, I'm going to sound a little bit like Alex Jones for a second, right? And a little info worry and be like, that is the battlefield. This is the war ground. The school board is where the battle takes place. We have to fight in the trenches. We'll meet them on the beaches. Yep. We got to talk like that. And that's
Leonidas and you're Xerxes.
right. And it is that, in my opinion. Frankly, we're there to basically shut down people who are actively trying to ruin our lives.
that is accurate. Yes.
So,
In the most excruciatingly boring way possible, they just pass all in favor of this. Okay, and just something has wildly changed.
yep. Yeah, that's what happened last night. They're like, okay, anyone against this controversial material bill? 2 people? Okay, well, we're changing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on.
Yeah. So we're asking, why is it important to rally the community?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Why do you guys think? Newbies, what do you guys think?
Do you feel like it was important last night, what we're doing?
Yeah.
You think it made a difference?
Could be.
Oh, could. Okay, go on.
I think it's kind of do y'all remember the public forum scenes in Parks and Rec where all the insane people
Patton
got
Oswalt's speech?
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty accurate. A lot of the people who go to those are a little unhinged and
Including us.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And having more reasonable voices come in and speak is definitely a balance that helps If anything, look, if we can't, I want to phrase this carefully. Our school board members are elected officials. And if we can't change them in the way we want to that way, then maybe if we're just like berating them with the policies they need to pass to help protect us, that might be another effective way of getting the changes we need done. I know that was kind of a roundabout.
No, I think what you're saying essentially is, we have to vote these people out sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because these are politicians. I don't think they say we're not taking a side. They are. They just don't have a D or an R next to their name.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's important for us to go because they're out of touch most of the time.
Yeah.
These people are completely out of touch. They only believe the echo chambers that they participate in. And I think it is important for teachers to say, hey, this is what's really happening. And kind of a Phil and I, a Bill Castro and Pickett collaboration was, why don't we just beat these people over the head with attrition, right? Seriously. Going on and on and on for hours about like you're disrespecting us, I think has value.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Dr. Adam, what do you think about last night? Like, why do you think this is important? Do you feel like you made a difference last night?
I do think it's important to go and speak to drown out some of the other people who are there. I do wish some of those other people who went up to say disrespectful or hateful or unhelpful things did stay till the end to hear what I had to say, because I would be open to, I was thinking about talking to those people holding the signs afterwards, because they sat down like they were sitting right behind us. And they were making all sorts of comments throughout the whole thing. And I did want to ask them some of their opinions, but they left, Yeah. And I think talking to those kind of people and I am a reasonable human being who's good at my job and I have a lot of expertise and I can display that to these people if I speak to them,
I think I heard Donegan, you were saying they were talking about how we're supporting pedophiles and
yeah, they were talking about the recently banned book.
And let's talk about that real fast. For everyone listening, in case you didn't realize, Pinellas County has officially banned their first book. Mm-hmm. We did it, guys. We finally banned a book in Pinellas County. It was The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison.
Can I jump in for a second and say that I know that we discussed this at the meeting. We had they kept saying the book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we were all like, what book? So we're English, 3 of the 4 of us right here are English teachers and had no idea this was going on. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. Where was that failure in communication? What incited this? And now all of a sudden we, as upper level, you're AP and everything, I'm ACE too, have to teach. I mean, do we have to dance around this now officially banned book, having just heard about it less than 24 hours ago? That this was even on the table?
No one had mentioned it. The school board wouldn't even address it. And then we learned later on from a speaker who did their research. It was from Palm Harbor University. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I believe it was an IB course, and a parent had a problem with it. So they're banning Toni Morrison in an IB course. Hey, Dr. Ab, you're an IB grad.
Yeah.
Can you explain what IB is real fast?
IB is the International Baccalaureate Program, and they're at schools, high schools. There's a middle school and elementary school program too, but all around the world. And if you pass it, you get college credits. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like taking a college course. You get college credit.
AP is similar, right? I mean, how is that? What is the core difference between IB and AP for people listening?
Everything you do is IB. All the classes you're in are IB, and then there's an overarching project that you do, an EE, a research project, and then there's also community and volunteering hours that you also have to do,
IB
activity hours.
Yeah, IB is like a track. You get an IB diploma.
Yeah.
Versus AP is a course.
Yeah.
You get just a college credit if you pass the test.
And there's the capstone diploma, but we don't talk about that.
And ACE is similar. ACE is probably more closely tied to AP.
Yeah.
But I think the curriculum-wise is probably similar to IB because the ACE is Cambridge International Advanced International Certificate of Education. But the material, there's a disclaimer. The ACE teachers had to add a specific disclaimer to our syllabus this year for parents.
Same for AP.
Yeah, that said, like, listen, this is a college level course. This is a different course from regular high school. Yes, we're going to follow all the Florida state standards. Yes, we're going to follow all of the guidelines. However, there are materials that are part of the course that could be considered controversial by some parents. And that was kind of the disclaimer of, like, take that up with the school and scheduling right now. And we did have to include extra stuff on our syllabus this year about the extra materials like comic books and movies and videos and whatever. But I remember, like, during the ACE training in the summer, one of, like, the immediate first documents to show what ACE writing looks like for students was a student writing about Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto. And I saw that, I said, oh boy, I don't know if Florida knows about this. The controversial materials list. But I mean, I haven't taught that. It's not part of my classroom, but it's fair game. I would imagine the list of fair game for IB and ACE is probably pretty long.
Yeah.
So to hear Bluest Eye was like next was kind of like, what?
Mm-hmm. And it's layered, these courses and all. It's very layered, and it's scary now because it seems that if any parent, one single right, one parent has an issue with a piece
real or antagonistic too.
Yeah, and it could be, and we're going to talk about that as well with one of the Moms for Liberty who was at the school board meeting who was actively attacking one of our own members, Brant Robinson, right? This woman is still actively filing stuff towards Brant Robinson, even though her child has graduated from Dunedin High School.
Oh, wow.
That was one of the people who was speaking?
Brant is the long-haired fellow who's very kind. And actually, he was one of the lucky ones that got to speak while most of the Moms for Liberty were still in the audience. Yeah. And he's very welcoming. He's accepting. I truly find the man amazing. But that's the thing. It's they come after us because that's their agenda. It's not because they really care about their kids' education.
And that circles back to the people sitting behind us. They went after one woman who was just a mother of a student who came up to speak, and kind of touching on what you just said, Phil, one of the hard points she hit on was your parental rights end where you start inflicting on my parental rights to have my kid have a good rounded education. And for anyone listening who doesn't know, the issue they're taking up with this book is that it portrays a scene of sexual assault of a father against a young daughter. And it's clearly a very graphic topic to bring up, but it's not as if it's portrayed in any wonderful light. It's portraying a very dark aspect of humanity in the hands of one of America's most capable authors. And as this mother's talking about the book, the women behind us say, "Oh yeah, that's great. Let the pedophiles win."
That was somebody in the audience.
Yeah.
Those were the people holding the "Stop Grooming Our Kids" sign.
And I guarantee they've never read a book before in their whole life. And this kind of gets to the main point I want to get at is that it sucks to be so reactive as a union, right? We're reacting to a culture war. That's what it really is.
Yeah.
We see this stuff in the news. We see what these Moms for Liberty are achieving, what they're doing, what our governor is doing, right? And we have to act. It's not necessarily a want, like we want things at this point. It's like, no, it's a necessity. Because if we don't stand up and drown these people out, that's the only voice these people are going to hear. That also goes into voting. And we can be pushing harder with voting, of course. But I'm looking at the statistics I got from our staff director, Lindsay. And I think it was 77% of the speakers last night were pro-ed, which is awesome. Right? They all said something nice about teachers. They all said something nice about education, public education, and about 15% were the Moms for Liberty. And frankly, we could do better, I feel. But
that's like a really high percentage
it is.
For it to be Moms for Liberty.
It is. I think it is. 15% is not the best number, I think. That should be more like 3.
And I'm sorry to go back for like 1 second.
Go ahead.
Back to this book.
Yeah.
These kids that are reading this book, they're acting like this book is in like all of the classes. It's a very specific group of kids, these IB kids. They're taking really hard classes. And like to be in the IB program, you have to apply. You have to continually choose to stay in the IB program. It's a lot of work. And the parents of these kids in the IB program know this already, and they know how advanced their student is. And they know that not even in all of their other classes as well, they are seeing this advanced content, you know?
Yeah.
And so the parents are aware of these risks, I think, just by the nature of it being an IB program. And then the other thing, obviously, it's an international program. So they have international standards, not just like our state standards that they follow.
And I think even with all that, too, don't the parents still have the right to reject a material like that individually?
Yes, it's always been a thing in this state.
Yeah, so it's, it's not a book that's just given to kids secretly. The parents know what they have every option to tell their kids they don't want them reading that material.
But, I mean, I don't want to say this outright, but let's look at the crux of the reason why they might have banned Toni Morrison's The Blue Sky. I mean, they're going after African-American history right now.
Yeah.
They're going after Toni Morrison, a well-respected African-American writer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the real agenda? Is it really because we're upset about this one scene in a book that could be explained with context and taught by a professional? Or is it who wrote the book, right? It's the question you might want to consider. One thing I kind of want to segue into next is what needs to be changing at these meetings. And Belcastro, you had mentioned, because you had invited one of our good friends from Tampa.
Yep. So a while back, Hillsborough County, their union, has been fighting with their school board for different, I mean, similar, but in some cases more extreme issues dealing with back pay and unpaid labor over on the other side of the bay. So as a FYRE co-chair, I met with Emily, who's one of the FYRE people from Hillsborough, and we've just kept in touch since we're in proximity here. So I went to one of their school board meetings, and she came over to see what ours was about. And she has some different ideas for how our union can do things a little bit differently, a little bit better. She also noticed with our school board meeting, I didn't catch this when I saw Hillsborough's, but Hillsborough has a separate section for employee comments. So when I was sitting there, I didn't realize that's what was happening. I thought that they just like flooded the school board meeting, but no, it's a separate section. So all the red shirts spoke.
And it's pretty early on in the meeting, right?
Yeah, so she said it's technically through like the halfway point. So they take care of all like school board business. I don't know what the equivalent would be for ours. So I don't know if they do any voting in the first half. This is probably a Hillsborough question. But she says it's technically in the middle.
Okay.
So somewhere after they take care of all like the administrative things, they allow employees to comment. And then they go to, I think it's like the voting stuff, because I did see a lot of voting. So I think like approving agendas and approving minutes from last meeting, all that kind of stuff happens first, then it's employee comments, which I was saying I think is a really good idea because it would retain all those people that we think should listen to the people who are actually working in classrooms. So if you are like a bigoted individual or a group of bigots and you just want to go there to spew vitriol and then leave, you would be forced to listen to actual employees of the school and people who work in the classrooms every single day.
And I think it goes a little bit further about respecting teachers a little bit too, because it's saying, hey, we want to hear your voice first.
Absolutely.
You get a segment of this school board meeting. It does show a little bit of respect to teachers. I mean, you're still going and using your time to complain about something, but I mean, it is nice to know, like, we have an hour put aside just for us.
Truly, yeah. So having a separate dedication of time for us is nice, and it's respectful of our time because we all know that none of us, I mean, we all bring work home with us. So one of our audience members was in the audience doing schoolwork, like grading papers before he got up to speak. And we've both brought work to grade while we were sitting there waiting, because it is a lot of just approving minutes and waiting for choirs to finish singing and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of downtime, and we're sitting there watching the clock tick down. And we're like, I got things to grade. I got a plan for tomorrow. I need to get rest because, I wake up at 5 a.m. to get here by, 6:30 or whatever. So I think it's respectful of us as individuals. It's respectful of our role in the community, so that the community should have some expectation to listen to us, and respectful of just our jobs and what we do, that we do need time. We need time at home, because work doesn't end at 2:30 or 3 o'clock or whatever, whenever time school gets out, that's not when work is over. We take work home with us, and everybody knows that. It's not a secret. So, that's our unpaid labor.
So, Nancy, if you're listening to this, we need to talk to our superintendent, Mr. Kevin Hendrick, and get this in, man. Let's do this. We need a power hour just for teachers. We can load up with red shirts.
Power hour.
Power hour. That's what we call it. We'll call it the teacher power hour.
Yeah.
And we can make the Moms Liberty listen to us say,
right.
Go away.
Yeah.
Leave us alone. Let us teach. Let's do our job.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to end it here. We're going to do one more thing, though, and this is our activity. We're going to end each episode with we're going to call it the Based Award, which means something that you believe just couldn't happen. It is something that is unbelievable. What is something unbelievable that you saw or experienced, whether it's union, news, on the job, or anything, really? I'll go first if you guys want.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, please.
So I think mine, I stole it from Bel Castro. My incredibly based moment this week was actually at the school board, and it was when I was watching our youngest and first-year teacher, Mr. Ramsey Aziz. He was giving his speech. It was very heartfelt and well-written, I would say. But there was a moment right at the end, and if you listen to the clip, you might be able to hear me cackling in the back because I lost my mind. And just play the clip for us.
Can I play it? I'm going to see if this will carry the microphone.
To end the speech, I wish to elaborate on why I became a teacher. I wish to teach my students how to strive above the mediocrity and complacency of our age. I strive to teach them how to attain their will to power, the capacity for betterment, so that they are able to become so absolutely free that their very existence is an act of rebellion. P.S. The Genderbread Man is not a real book.
That is amazing.
So you can't hear it at the end, but then he ends up spelling arithmetic. Rams, you're in the audience. Can you explain why you're spelling arithmetic for us?
Give him a mic.
We need a little. Don't touch the mic. Just make sure you speak it.
Yeah, you can move it a little bit.
So one of the individuals who were speaking at this meeting had mentioned two things that I found to be utterly disturbing and frustrating as a teacher and educator. First, they claimed that there's a teacher or educator teaching a book called The Genderbread Man. And we did a quick little Google search, and we did not find any such book that exists. I brought my laptop because I had to work in grade, and I was grading papers.
He's like, what is that?
Yeah, this was my first school board meeting, and I really wanted to go, and I wasn't sure if I was going to speak, but then I got really passionate about it. And seeing this individual claim that somebody's teaching this book is just astonishing and frustrating and disturbing. So I had to say it. Of course, this individual gave their vile speech and walked out. So they didn't hear this response, but I really wish they did. And I spelled out arithmetic because this individual claimed that we have to go back to normalcy and teach the 3 R's. The third bar being arithmetic. And as those in the audience listening in know, arithmetic starts with an A. It is followed by an R, so okay, sure.
I think she said arithmetic.
Yeah, I do believe she said arithmetic, which I was in the back and I was already losing my mind because she started off with the Genderbread Man part.
And then she said y'all, and I got out my red pen and I chased her out of the room.
Yeah, so it was very frustrating, and that's why it was not part of my initial speech. I had wrote it earlier in that day. I had I really wanted to focus on the particular issues.
But you know what? I totally forgot. The reason that even came up, correcting her, was because there was I think it was the same person was going like line item by line item of all like the misspellings and like errors.
It's a different woman.
It was a different person.
Different woman, yeah.
It was a different woman.
That was ridiculous too. So.
Yeah, so they're doing that. So I thought, okay, they want to go ahead and check grammar and whatnot and all these documents and everything. And so I said, all right, I'm going to spell arithmetic. So you can't really hear it, but as a teacher, I know how to project my voice. So I did yell out so the audience can hear me spell arithmetic. And, they told me thank you twice. And then after I did my little spiel, I walked away feeling vindicated.
He wide Putin walked out of here.
I did walk away with a swagger after doing that.
And you could find this on YouTube, but I think one of us should post it, or PCTA should post it on their Instagram.
The Genderbread man?
Oh, the Genderbread man.
That would be hilarious. That's such a meme. That's so good.
Yeah.
And he did he did all this spelling this word as the school board is like, all right, thank you, Mr. Aziz,
Exactly.
thank you, A-R-I, thank you.
That was my favorite.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I don't know if this matters, but do we know what the genderbread person is? Because that is a thing.
Yeah, we looked it up.
Okay.
So we know it's not a book.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a Facebook post that someone posted,
Yeah.
and like,
There's minions in it.
There's this author, Sam Killerman, and he wrote, I can't remember the name of the book, but it's like, I read it in my Intro to Women and Gender Studies
Right.
class, and it's like a little graphic that
Right, the
has,
graphic. That's what
and it's like gender, sex, gender expression, and
Yeah.
the scales. Or
I saw something similar. Maybe it's the same guy. It's like the gender unicorn or something was in like a work training I did at a different job.
It's probably similar.
It's probably similar, yeah.
My based award is the lady at the meeting who was acting like the bluest eye was being taught to second graders.
yes. Story time. Gather around, kids. So
Yeah,
some
right.
24. Yes.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. My based award, and I didn't tell you this yet, Pickett.
Yeah, I'm waiting for this one, actually.
Dr. Margiotta and Donegan were there. So after the meeting, we went to this restaurant, which, by the way, I hated that place. I'm so sorry.
It's like a name of the place. Where is this
I love
place?
that place.
What was it called?
It's called the Sports Shack.
How many forks do you get? Is that a
Sports
five?
Shack, if you're listening, I will switch back to loving you if you give us a discount. Otherwise, I'm not going back.
How many forks
How many forks?
out of 5?
What does that mean?
How many forks would you rate this place?
None. I don't even know if they gave us
0 forks.
I don't think they gave us
They
silverware.
didn't give us
No.
any
No silverware.
Everything was burnt and smelled like ashes.
I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
I mean, it's for like. Well, I don't
All right,
know.
what's supposed to
Anyway,
be
my
Sharkies, you're canceled.
No, my my base award. Okay, so we all go out to this place. Okay, we've been in the restaurant for like 2 hours. Like it was hours. Okay,
So
and then
happy.
I go to pay my bill, and I usually keep my keys in the same pocket my wallet's in, and I'm like, yo, where are my keys? And I just thought that. This is Aziz's genderbread man moment. So I'm like, where are my keys? Because I'm pretty good. I've never had a moment like this. And I look on the table, they're not there. So, well, maybe I left them in the bathroom or they fell down and I can't find them. So I take out my phone, flashlight on. I'm in the parking lot. It's dark. It's like a dirt parking lot. There's like a swamp next to us, whatever. And I'm just scanning the ground. I can't find it. And I look up at my car and my dome light is on. I'm like, okay, that's odd. Those two things aren't, they might not be related. I get closer to my car. I hear that my car is on. And I'm like, okay, well, that's concerning. I get there. My keys had never made it into the restaurant. They were in the ignition, car on, in gear, running for hours. So, whatever, Sharkies, whatever this place is called, 10 out of 10 safety. Nobody drove away in an 08 Honda Fit that nobody wants. But I was like, where's the gas leak? What happened to my brain? I have no... Yeah, there you gotta hold it. Totally.
I meant to go for which one's the applause? That's what I was.
Oh Oh my god! I literally said to you guys, I was like, I need to like keep a journal, like a memento style journal, because if I start having more moments like this, I'm gonna go get a brain scan.
Well, that just shows what the school board meeting did to your brain.
Mind numbing, mind crushingly boring.
I do want to remind everyone that FYRE stands for Florida's Young Remarkable Educators.
I'm not young. I have Alzheimer's. So.
He's our oldest, youngest.
Yeah, I'm the oldest,
Remarkable
youngest.
educator.
I mean, remarkable in probably different ways, but. That's my base. What is your base award, Mr. Donegan?
My base award would be okay. So one of the items at the school board meeting was the renaming of, I think, a middle school to Mangrove Bay. I forget if it was middle or elementary.
It was a new one.
Yeah, or a new school. Yeah, Mangrove Bay. And one gentleman.
Oh no!
Because they only have 2 jokes that they just repeat and recycle. At least they recycle something. Walks up and says, the first thing he decides he wants to talk about is mangrove. Really? Why can't it be they grove? That was
I thought it was hilarious.
I very much
The
support
whole
they
school
grow.
board got up and laughed. And
Yeah,
people
they
fell
did.
out of their chairs. Yeah.
They changed the name of the school to that guy's name.
Ironically, I'm not going to say his name, but yeah.
genderbread person, middle school.
Let's just say that his name is the opposite of being sad.
I don't know. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. That's how brain broken I was. I was so brain broken at the end of that meeting that I left my keys in my running car.
Full tank of gas.
Okay, Sharky's, whatever that place is called. Is it even called
It was
Sharky's?
called Luke's.
Lucky's, Lucky's, whatever. Shacky's, Luke's Bar. Worst fish and chips I've ever had in my life.
Nice.
10 out of 10 security, Honda Fit, 10 out of 10 gas mileage. So just idling for hours.
Jesus.
Look, y'all, you wanted somewhere that was open and had food. It's where I knew. I'm sorry.
So we're going a little bit over than I expected.
Yeah, that's-
However, the last 10 minutes were just us joking around. So if you're still listening this long in, I hope you laughed a little bit. I hope you learned a little bit. And I hope you feel inspired to tell people to start joining us at the school board meetings.
Please, yeah. We're going to post, we'll have ways of you guys contacting us. So if you've listened to this and you think it's funny and you like us and you want to hang out and definitely not go to Sharky's or Shakey's, just message us. And so get involved with FYRE, get involved with PCTA, link up with us on all the social medias that we're kind of looking to revamp in the very near future. What else? New guys. What's the new, most important stuff for us?
So just getting a hold of this podcast, I think, for now.
Okay.
For now, I think we're gonna make our own email for this, of course. But you can email me. It's brennandpickett@gmail.com. So that's BRENNEND as in dog and Pickett PICKETT@gmail.com. If you want to voice your concerns to the school board, which we highly recommend, and you cannot make it in person, please email them at board@pcsb.org.
It's BOARD.
Yes.
Okay, not my board.
And I think that's about as far as I could think of. What do you guys think over here?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, the one thing I'd like to just hit on again, if you have any, if you feel like writing a letter to anyone, the one thing I'd like to ask you to address is our class sizes are very big, and it makes teaching a lot more difficult than it should be. Maybe we'll talk about that in the next episode. And I just want to thank everyone. I think we are the 3rd most popular podcast on Spotify right now.
We're heading there. I just got a sponsorship from Nike.
Okay, yeah, great.
This podcast has been brought to you by Herbalife.
Herbalife. Drink up.
Also, trans people aren't groomers.
Nice.
All right.
Anyway, sayonara.
All right.
Peace out.